everyone. Firstly, thanks to Amit and to the Apex Hours for giving me an opportunity to present. And today's session is about Marketing Cloud Journey Builder, and we're going to look at the basics of the Journey Builder. A little bit about me before we get started. I am Jyotsna Bitra. I go by the name JB, and I am 16 times certified application architect, a marketing champion, and marketing cloud consultant. The latest Golden Hoodie winner and founder and the co-leader of Salesforce Marketer Group Phoenix and the Impact Force series. And here you can find my social handles. Feel free to connect with me for any questions or any other help. Here's the agenda for the session. We'll look at what a journey builder is and the different use cases of a journey builder, the different types of journeys that we can create, and the templates that are available out of the box. We'll also look at the Journey Builder dashboard and the canvas, how the Journey Builder UI looks like, and the basic configuration. And finally, we will also look at a simple demo. So what is a journey, or what is a customer journey? When you think of a journey, you may think of a journey as a travel from one location to another location, or it could be your Salesforce journey, the path you have taken from getting started to accomplishing your milestones or certifications or where you are today and so on. A journey in Marketing Cloud is the path that the potential customer or the customer takes to become more engaged or more committed to the company's brand. To be specific, a customer journey is defined as all interactions that customer have with the company's brand, products, or services across all touch points and channels. Touch points can include clicking an ad, reading an email, or making a purchase, or returning an item in the store, or abandoning a cart. Could also be talking to a service agent, or downloading a white paper, or redeeming a coupon. There are hundreds of ways people interact with business every day. And they engage with the brand across different channels. That could be email, SMS, push notifications, ads, landing pages, and so on. And some may prefer to call and talk directly to the support people. And some may prefer to email or go social or log into the company's website and log a case there. And each individual's interactions can take place in different ways. It can be at different times, in a different order, on different media, with different technologies and with different devices. They all go through a different life cycle. And as a brand, we cannot engage with all the customers in the same way. All interactions with the customer should be personalized, contextual, and relevant, and it should make the customer feel connected. Before we dive deeper, let's look at the common terms that we're going to use. Number one, the contact data. It can be any data that describes the contact. It could be the first name, last name, the state, address, country, region, gender, the membership status. Next one is the behavioral data. It's about the customer's likes and dislikes, what the customer is interested in, and other relative data. The engagement data can be about how the customer's engagement has been. It could be the opens and clicks under the engagement that he has done with the previous email communications. So first, what is a journey builder? A journey builder is Marketing Cloud's premier campaign planning and execution tool. It enables to design and automate campaigns that guide the customers through a series of interactions. And a journey builder is multi-channel. We can communicate seamlessly across all the channels, across email, SMS, push notification, ads, landing pages, and apps, and so on. and so that you can deliver the customers the right information at the right time. And the journeys are responsive, and depending on the actions the customers take, the journeys can be responsive. The customers can be routed through different paths depending on the actions that they take. As you see here, Journey Builder can be used to empower businesses to listen, connect, and automate across channels. So a journey can see how the customer's engagement has been, or it can also look at the attributes on the customer, and it can automate dependingly. It can also send messages that connect with the customers. And we can send messages across different online channels. And in the Journey Builder, you would also be able to test and optimize various channels, and also different versions of the emails or different content, and also different timings. And you can also improve and optimize the journey depending on the goal and the performance. And these are some of the product strengths and benefits of the Journey Builder. It can be used to send one-on-one messages at scale. So depending on the customer's attributes, the contact attributes, or the behavioral data, or the engagement data, you would be able to send the customers through different paths. You would be able to segment them and send them to different paths. And the Journey Builder can be used for goal-driven marketing and optimization. You can set some behavior-based goals in the journey, and once they reach the goal, they can be exited from the journey, and based on that, you can continually optimize the journeys. And the Journey Builder provides a visual drag and drop campaign creation capability. So using the Journey Builder, even a non-technical user or a non-developer can be able to create journeys very easily. It is just a simple canvas where you can drag and drop all the activities onto the canvas and create a journey which includes multiple channels and multiple messages. We can look at it in depth in the demo part. Let's look at an example of how a journey can look like. As you see here, this is an example of a journey. This is only a small snippet of the whole journey. So as you see here, you can notice a lot of activities in here. These are also called the steps of a journey, and these happen whenever a customer interacts or reaches out to the company, or every time a company wants to interact with them. And let's look at some of the use cases of a Journey Builder. A Journey Builder can be used to create journeys across the different phases of the business. It can be used during the acquisition phase, onboarding and engagement phase, retention phase, and the advocacy phase. During the acquisition phase, we can create journeys to grow subscriber lists or the customer base. We can send some informational emails or welcome emails when they sign up, and also encourage them to make, when they make their first purchase or refer a friend, you can send these kind of journeys. And during the onboarding and engagement phase, we can send some communications to welcome new customers and give them the information they need to use the product or upsell the product. And you can also encourage them to make their next purchase, or sign up for a auto pay or paperless, or download the mobile app, or complete their profile, and many things. And during the retention and the advocacy phase, can re-engage with the potential unsubscribers and the customers who abandoned the purchases. You can encourage them to re-engage with the brand. Maybe ask them to finish their purchase or complete their product review. Maybe send some wishes on the birthday or the anniversary, and provide them with some coupons so they can make their next purchase. These are the different types of journeys that we can create using the Journey Builder. The first one is the multi-step journey. So using the multi-step journey, you would be able to create multiple messages that can be sent across different channels. That could be SMS, push notification, WhatsApp, email, landing pages, and so on. And the next one is the single send journey. And using the single send journey, you would be able to send a single personalized message, and that is available across these 3 different channels: email, SMS, and push. The next one is the transactional send journey. It is used to send some transactional messages, and that can be triggered whenever an API event that is external to the Marketing Cloud, it fires. And these are the various templates that are available out of the box in the Journey Builder. And if you are a beginner and you're trying to understand what a journey can do, I would recommend you to go first and look at the templates. So by looking at these templates, you would be able to understand how the journey can be set up and what are the different channels that can be included. And one thing I love about these templates is it includes a detailed setup guidance and the link to the documents, help documents, and content recommendations. And you can also use the template as is and create the journeys based on that, or you can also modify the journey that fits your use case. We can take a deeper look at these templates during the demo. And here's a snapshot of the journey dashboard. As you can see here, on the left pane, you would see a list of all the journeys sorted by the folders, different folders, and some filter criteria. So the first one is the scheduled single sends, and the next one, the recent single sends. And beneath, you will see all the folders and the subfolders where the journeys can be organized further. And you can also see a list of all the journeys by the names and the versions that they're currently running on. And each journey will have a status, and you can also see the status of each journey. And also, you would also see if the journey is running, you would also see the number of contacts that are in that specific journey. And you can also see here the last time the journey was modified. And in here, you would be able to enter the name of the journey, and you can search the journey depending on that. And if you have created any tags during the journey creation, you would be able to sort a journey based on those tags. And using this filter icon, you would be able to sort the journeys that meet the filter criteria that you would specify in there. And you can also see the performance, the goal performance of the journeys. And using this create new journey button, you would be able to create a new journey. And as you can see here in the navigation pane, you would see the entry sources. If you want to look at all the entry sources that were used by all the journeys, you can see that here. And in here, you would be able to see the history of all activities of all the journeys. And you can also filter that depending on some criteria. You would be able to see the history for the past 1 month. And in here, you would be able to see all the templates that are available within the Journey Builder. And here are some of the statuses that a journey can be in. It can be in the cancel state. Whenever the journey was canceled before the scheduled send date and time, it will be in the cancel state. Deleted is when the journey was deleted, and draft is when you just started working on the journey and it is not active yet. And running is when the journey is published and is currently running. And the single send journey is scheduled to send at a specific date and time, then it will be in the scheduled state. And sent is when a single send journey started or sent a message on the specified date and time. The stopped is when the journey is stopped. And here's how the journey UI or the journey canvas looks like. And on the right side, you would see the canvas where you can drag and drop all the canvas activities, and you can build the journey based off that. Number one, you would see the journey name, the title, and the description. And in here, on the left pane, you would see a list of all the entry sources and the activities. We'll look at all the entry sources and the activities in detail in the next slide. And this is the canvas where you would build the journey. And this is the journey toolbar where you can take various actions on the journey. We can look at this further in the next slides. Moving on. These are the various entry sources. So each journey starts with an entry event. It is used to inject the customers into the journey. As you see here, this is the list of various entry events that are available, and some of the entry events may not be available depending on the configuration of your Marketing Cloud instance. So starting with the data extension, this is the most commonly used entry source. So this is when you have a list of all contacts that are in the data extension and you want to include them into the journey, inject them into the journey based on a filter criteria. So you can use this data extension entry source. The API event, you would use it when you want to add the customers into your journey based on an event that the customer takes outside of the Marketing Cloud. The audience, you would use this when you want to admit the list of contacts into your journey. And you can also select from push, SMS, and audience builder audiences as well. The cloud pages, this entry sources is used, entry source is used to add customers to a journey from a smart capture form. So whenever a customer goes and fills the smart capture form, those records will be added to the data extension and you can inject those contacts into the journey. You can also add some filter criteria. Depending on that, they will be injected into the journey. The inbound chat is used to admit contacts. Whoever responds to the previous message with some specific keywords, then they will be injected to into the journey. The Salesforce data event. So whenever an action like creating or updating an object record, whenever that action happens, then that contacts can be injected into the journey. An event is when a contact can be injected into the journey based on a date entry, date event. So whenever the date meets the criteria, it can be added into the journey. And GA360 is available when you have the GA account connected, and it is used to admit the audiences from the GA360 into the journey. And the Audience Studio is again used to admit the audiences from the Audience Studio. You should have the Audience Studio connected to the Marketing Cloud. And these are the various types of activities that can be used in a journey. As you know, journeys are a composition of activities. So, an activity is an action that can be taken by a customer, or an action that happens in a journey that acts upon a contact as the contact flows through the journey. And these are the various types of activities that are available. The messaging activities are used to send some email messages, SMS, inbox, or push notifications, in-app messages, line messages, or the WhatsApp messages. And if you have the Advertising Studio enabled, then you would see these two activities. The ad audience is used to create the audiences in the Advertising Studio from within the Journey Builder. And the ad campaign activity is used to create a campaign. It can be as simple as a Facebook advertising campaign, and that can be done without leaving the Journey Builder within the journey itself. And you can see various flow control activities, and they decide how your customer flows through different paths and different activities. There are primarily some wait activities, split activities, and join. We will look at these further in detail. And the next one is the customer updates. This activity prompts the system to update a contact's information in a data extension. Let's say you want to note a list of all the contacts who have entered the journey or exited the journey, you can use this activity and update the data extension saying that maybe indicate something in there saying the customer has entered the journey. So you can use this activity to update some data in the data extension. The sales and service cloud activities, these will be available when you have the marketing cloud connect installed. So these can be used to interact with the sales cloud or the service cloud records in the from within the journey builder. Let's look at these flow control activities in detail. Wait by duration is used to hold the contact between two activities depending on a duration. It could be minutes, hours, days, weeks, and months. You can also extend the wait duration. And after waiting for some 2 days and you want to still hold them for until a particular time, then you can select the time and the relative time zone here. And the next one is the wait until date. So you can specify a date and time, and the contact can wait until the specified time here. Wait by attribute. Let's say you have an attribute in a data extension and you want to have the contact wait until that date attribute has reached, then you would use this. And you can also select the wait interval. So whenever the date specified in the attribute is reached, you can also set whether it has to wait until a certain period before that date is reached or after that date. Let's say you want to send an email 5 days before someone's birthday, then you can say you can define it here. Wait until event. So you can use this activity to allow an external event to trigger an action. It can be used to hold the contacts until an event such as making a purchase or something happens before moving on to the next activity in the journey. Wait until chat response is used to hold contacts until they respond to an outbound message. And you can also set the maximum wait time. So they don't need to wait forever until the journey need not wait forever until the contact response, but it can have a maximum time period set here. So they'll wait and the wait period will wait until this maximum duration, and then it will progress to the next step. And these are the various split activities that are available. First one is the decision split. The decision split activity evaluates the contact journey data. So we can set some filter criteria in there, and depending on the filter criteria, if the contact meets the criteria, they can be diverted to a different path, and if they do not meet, they can be diverted to a different path. The random split is used to divide the contacts in the journey into different random groups. You can set as many as 10 different groups and route the customers through different paths. The engagement split is used to send the contacts through different paths depending on the engagement with the previous communication that you might have sent. Let's say you have sent an email and you want to see if the customer has opened the email or not, and then if they have opened, send them to a different path, and if not, send them through a different path. So you can use this engagement split activity. So before you use the engagement split activity, there should be an email send activity, and there should also be some wait activity in there. Then only you would be able to use this engagement split activity. The Einstein scoring and the frequency split activities, these will be available when you have the Einstein features turned on. The Einstein scoring split activity is used to segment the customers into logical paths depending on the personas that you might have defined before. And the frequency split is used to split the contacts based on their individual engagement frequency. And finally, the join activity is used to bring contacts from 2 different paths into a single path. Let's look at an example of a journey. So this is a journey that is set for sending reminders for the patients. So as you see here, the entry source is a date-based entry source. So whenever it is a patient's birthday, on patient's birthday, so on that particular date, we're going to send out an email which says happy birthday, and we're going to encourage them to go further and schedule their annual checkup. And next, we need to know whether they have scheduled or not. So we're going to include a decision split. So depending on the attribute, there may be some attribute in the data extension that determines whether they have scheduled or not. So depending on that attribute, we will route the customers through different paths. If they have scheduled, we are going to immediately send a schedule confirmation email, and then they'll be done with the journey. If they haven't scheduled, then we're going to try out 2 different ways. So one way is send a mail, and the other way is wait for 7 days and send the email. So for this, we are randomly splitting the contacts through different paths. And then as you see here, in one path, it's waiting for 3 days and sending the mail. And on the other path, it's waiting for 7 days and sending the email, and then after exiting the journey. So this is a simple example of a journey which just sends out some few email communications. As you have seen in the previous journey snapshot, your journey can be complex as complex as it can include 150 activities on more. And before we create a journey, we would first define what the goal of the journey is, what we want to achieve with that journey or that particular campaign. We can use those goals and exit criteria in the journey builder to measure success and to remove contacts from the journey. Whenever they reach the goal or whenever you want them to exit from the journey, you can set these goal and exit criteria. And using a goal, we can set some target, as in like the total number of people that should reach the target. And also it can be a percentage of people that should reach the marketing objective. So you would set some goal criteria, and you would also set some configuration there that when the contact reaches that goal, they can exit the journey. And on the contrary, exit criteria also can be used to remove a contact from the journey before completing the full journey path. But the difference between the exit criteria that you would set in the goal criteria is that whenever the contact reaches the goal and exits, they can be measured against the journey performance or the goal criteria. And now let's look at a simple demo of the journey builder. Let me quickly switch the screens. Okay. So I am now in the Marketing Cloud instance. So this is the dashboard. And in here, you would see the journey templates. You can start from here as well, or you can go to the journey builder and then journey builder. As you see here, this is the journey dashboard, and you see here all the different kind of journeys that we can sort down to, and also the folders. And you can also create some subfolders in there and organize the journeys. And in here, you see a list of all the journeys and the version the journey is currently running, the status of the journey, whether it's running or sent or canceled, stopped, as we have seen the statuses. And this is the number of contacts that are in the journey. And if you have set the goal criteria for the journey, here you would also see the performance of the journey. You see that the 30% of the contacts have met the goal criteria. The 3 contacts and the goal attainment is 75%. And in here, you would see the last modified date and time of the journey. And you would be able to search the journeys by the name and sort it. And if you have created any tags during the journey creation process, you would be able to search the journeys based on the tags. And this is a filter criteria that you can use: the journey types and the journey status and the journey channels. So you can set these, and you can also sort, you can also filter out. Right now, I only have few journeys, but if you have whole lot of journeys and you want to find out the journeys that are running and which are multi-step, you can use this filter criteria. And as you see here, I don't have any journeys that have the tags defined, so you wouldn't see anything. But if there were any tags defined, you would be able to sort based on these tags as well. And in here, you would be able to see the goal performance. So I don't have this goal criteria set on all the journeys. So it was set on only one journey. So you would see the journey performance here. The journey that I have used is this one. And here I can create a new journey. And on the top in the navigation pane, you would see all the list of entry sources that were used across all the journeys. And this is a history of all the journeys over the last 30 days, all the activities in the journeys. And in here, you would also see the filter criteria. You would be able to see by the journey name or different activities that can be included in the journey, and the journey status and the date range. And let's look at the journey templates. So the journey complexity can range from simple to advanced in these templates that are available. Let's look at a simple journey. This is a welcome journey. So as you see here, you can see a detailed description of the journey and also some setup guidance, how the journey is already laid out. You only need to map the emails, and if you want to change the weight criteria here, you would be able to change it here, and you would be able to map the data extension for this one. And this is all customizable as per your particular use case. And as you see here, this is the guidance. At each and every point, you would see what is the best practice and how you would go and configure it. And here is a link to all the help documents as well. And if you want to change the template, you can change the template, or if you want to go ahead with this template, you can get started here. And now let's look at one of the complex journeys. Abandoned cart, significant purchase. So this gives a description of what the journey is about. This can be used whenever we want to convert abandoned items into sales. So whenever a customer abandons or tries to purchase something, he adds something to the cart, but he didn't finish the purchase and abandons the carts, we can engage them. So we can watch that event and we can trigger the journey based on that API event, and we can route the customers through these different paths. And this journey can be used to provide additional information about your product or service. So we can send some reminders. In here, we have, in this journey has 3 emails, the cart reminder 1, reminder 2, and reminder 3. So along with the reminder, you would also be able to send some additional information about the products or something specific. So provide a clear call to action for customers to complete the purchase, and also remind customers of their specific abandoned products or services. So this journey is all about encouraging them to finish their purchase. So I would recommend the beginners to go ahead and look at these templates, so you would be able to understand how a journey can be set up and what kind of emails, what kind of engagement that we can drive using this journey. Now let's go back and try create a journey from scratch. And then you will see here the different types of journeys that we can create. The multi-step journey, the single send journey, and the transactional send journey. So let's start with a multi-step journey. We would use the single send journey only when we know for sure that we're going to use only single send. It could be email, SMS, or push. And even in the future, you're not going to include any other email, any other communications. So if you are sure, you can start with a single send. If not, if you want the journey to be scalable, you can start with a multi-step journey. So in here, you would be able to drag and drop the entry sources, and after the entry source, you would be able to drag the activities. I may want to send the email, and then I may want to wait. Here it is defined as 1 day. You can also say 1 week or 2 weeks, and extend until 10 p.m. in the night. You can set this here. And these are the different types of activities that are available. And as we have seen, these are the different kind of flow control activities: wait by duration, wait until date, wait by attribute, wait until API event, wait until chat response. And the different split activities: decision split, engagement split, random split, scoring split, frequency split. And this is also the join activity. And this is one of the Einstein activities, Einstein send time optimization. You would be able to determine when is the best time to send an email to a particular contact. And path optimizer is also one of the best activities. So using this, you would be able to define different paths, and that path can include different communication channels and different creative content. And you would be able to look at the performance of each path and then optimize the journey based on the winning path. So we shall look at this path optimizer feature in detail in the next session. And here you would see the customer updates activity. This is used to update a contact record in the data extension. And these are the various activities using which we can update an object record in the Sales and Service Cloud. You would be able to convert a lead or create a lead or opportunity, contact record, account record, and also a campaign member, create a task or a case. You would be able to do any of these things using these activities. And here you would define the name of the journey. And these are the undo and redo buttons. And this defines the version the journey is currently on. So as we just started, the journey is in the draft mode, and this is just the first version. And when we activate it, this will be enabled. And then once we create a version of a journey, if you want to make further versions, we would create a new version of it and then add on top of it. We will look at it in detail in the next slides. And this is used to toggle the left pane. And this copy activity is used when you want to copy a set of activities. So I want to copy this set of activities and reuse it again and again and again. So you can copy this selection. And when I do that, I can see that under the copied activities clipboard. So if you want to include that same set of activities at a later stage, let's say I will include some decision split or something in here. I use the decision split, and after the decision split, I would like to send the email and then wait for 2 weeks. So I can simply create a copy of a set of activities and then reuse it again and again. And this is used to set the goal performance. So you would be able to this is not null. Whenever this is not null, this is the filter criteria that you would use. So, and then you would set, I want 10 total people to sign up. You can set like this, or you can also include a percentage of the possible population. So I want 10% of the total contacts that are coming into the journey to sign up. You can set this goal criteria. And also you would also be able to determine when a customer reaches that goal criteria, you want them to exit the journey or you want them to continue with the journey. I have set this goal here. And this is used to set the exit criteria. That would be the same. You would just add something in here, set the criteria the same way that we have set on the goal. And these are the different settings. We will look at these in detail at a later stage. And this is used to save. And also you would be able to save this journey as a template. And if a number of journeys would be using the same skeleton as this journey, you would be able to save this as a template and reuse it again and again. And once we are done with the journey creation, you can validate the journey, whether it has all the components that are required for the journey. So as you see here, we have used the data extension entry source, but we haven't yet defined what the data extension should be. And also the journey is not scheduled. We didn't determine when we want the journey to run. So there are many things that are yet to be configured on this journey. So this, if you are missing any of the steps, this validate is used to define what are all the components that are missing. So here it says the entry source is missing, the number one, the email is missing, the decision split is not configured, the email is not configured, and also the journey settings needs to be configured as well. So this validate is used to determine what are the components that are missing in the journey creation process. And once we are done, we would be able to test the journey and we would be able to activate the journey. So for now, let's take a pause and go back. Let me switch the screens. Okay. And in here, in today's in this session, we have seen what a journey builder is and different use cases of a journey builder, the different types of journeys that we can create in the journey builder, the different templates that are available out of the box, how the journey builder dashboard looks like, the canvas, and the basic configuration we have seen today. And we would be able to dwell deeper in the journey builder configurations and settings in the next session. And these are a few resources that you can refer to in the Trailhead.